the tour, you were sitting on her. She is the looking glass. I heard a bunch of people asking about the whereabouts of our glass bottom if they got on the boat. But would enlighten these people as to where the glass bottom might be on our glass bottom. But actually, it's a big scam. You know what I mean? What it is, we get you all downstairs, run you from one side of the boat to the other, put the boat up on its side, maybe they move the windows. It leaks a little bit, but it works. There's the glass bottom down there. There's nothing to see right now. That's why we're not sitting downstairs. Once we get out to where we can actually see something, then we'll take it downstairs. Cool? Alright. Downstairs with the glass bottom, we have a bar. Nice thing about our bar, we got the cheapest drinks in Bermuda. Yeah, $5 across the board. Rum swizzle, beer, wine, highballs, all that good stuff for $5. Which, for Bermuda, that's not so bad. For the ship. We also have a free soda or a free quarter for those of you that don't drink or can't drink. And then conveniently located right next to the bar, we have two heads. Everybody know what a head is? It's a toilet. We don't put up toilets on boats because they work nothing like toilets. That's why we call them heads. If you've used the head on the boat before, you'll see a lot of them are pretty temperamental. You know, there's foot pedals and pump handles, levers and knobs, and an 18-page manual that you have to read before you use it. Our boat's pretty sophisticated. It's a push button. Push an old button for 10 seconds and all your problems should go away. If they don't and you break it, what's going to happen? The door will lock behind you. There'll be a toolkit and a manual that drops from the ceiling, and the door will not reopen until the boat is completely clear. Everybody got that? That's downstairs all the way forward. We also have safety equipment on board as well. We got life vests up here on the other side of me. There's 90 of them. Okay, so if anything snaps, we'll just tie them together and go somewhere around. We'll make it back safely. We also have oxygen, first aid, and fire extinguishers on board, but we're not using any of that. Right? Right. So that's basically it about the boat. You guys got up into the dockyard this morning, right? How many have actually been to Bermuda before? Oh wow, not too many. We usually get about a 50% return rate at the island on the tour. So hopefully at some point you guys are happy that we'll be back. What I'd like to do on the way out, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. That way it gets until you hear about what you want to hear about instead of what I'm just going to ramble on about. Me and Selena, we're both locals, so we know pretty much everything there is to know about the island. Anything we don't know, we're really good at making it up. Yeah, you won't know the difference, I promise. Anybody have any questions? Population of the island is 70,000. 70,000. 122 square miles. So we're one of the densest populated countries in the world. Any other questions? Yes, ma'am. Now, are the reefs themselves? So Selena's going to tell you all about the corals and stuff, but I'll tell you, Bermuda will be one of the last places in the world to have a coral. That's because we're so far north. We're extremely far north. Like I said, Selena's going to tell you all about the coral reefs themselves. Now, how many of you actually looked at a map before you came to the island? Nobody? Not one. The rest of you just here for the buffet. If you looked at a map, you see we're shaped like a fish hook. Right out there where the ships are, that's the tip of the hook. That's where we put the bait. Funny how they put you out there. All this area out here, this is the belly of the hook. you'll notice with Southampton, see this peninsula that sticks out? Got a lot of green up in the corner. Got a built-up area there. And then that's the old American naval base. Those of you American, yeah, that's your old naval base. There aren't too many of the original buildings out there, though, for one reason. To cut time and to cut costs, the U.S. government decided it'd be a good idea if they mixed the cement with salt water. Not a good idea. All the buildings crumbled to the ground. It doesn't matter, though, because you got kicked out in 1995. Anybody know why? Sam Donaldson. You know Sam? 2020 or 60 Minutes, or whatever he did, yeah. He came down here. He originally told the government he was going to do this big piece of Bermuda tourism, you know, for Bermuda Island, show people how beautiful it is here. So he says, sure, man, come on down. We'll pay for your ticket, pay for your accommodations, anything you need, we'll pay for it. Then he got here, and he switched tax. He did a big expose on what the Navy was doing with their tax dollars in Bermuda. He called the Peace and Club Men of the U.S. Navy. What he found is that the commanders are playing golf all day. They had an Air Force base down in the East End, which is now our airport. Anytime you went down towards St. George's, you see these big bombers doing circles around the airport. Nobody could figure out what they were doing. Sam Donaldson cracked into it, and what he found was that they were burning the excess fuel so that they didn't cut back on the budget for the next year. So your money was well spent here. But it wasn't just the Americans, it was also the British and the Canadian as well. So they all got pulled out. So we took the big and said, when you guys left, when you left, you took the McDonald's. That's a big deal, right? Franchises are illegal here. Not allowed to have any franchises. KFC is the only one here. They got through just what the law passed. It's not even a real KFC because they use real chicken. Because it was American soil, you're allowed to McDonald's, right? And every Wednesday it opened it up to locals. It was funny because you had to make reservations. Yeah, to eat at McDonald's. And that. Now, what's cool is when you first built the Air Force Base, you gave Bermuda the third largest runway in the world. We're still in the top 20. Which isn't bad for a 22 square mile rock in the middle of the ocean, right? The reason for that is NASA used to be stationed here, so it was a secondary landing site for the shuttle. So the shuttle wanted to, it could land here, right? Perfect place for it, being in the middle of the ocean. So it works out. So those are the bases. Then you come around a little more, you got that stick up in the sky over there. That's the Gibbs Hill Lighthouse. You guys get a chance, you definitely want to check that out. It's the tallest point in Bermuda. It's 365 feet above sea level. There's 185 steps to get up to the top of it. Once you get up there, there's a 360-degree balcony that you can go out on and you get a wicked view of the whole island. Looking for a good vantage point for pictures. Good. Then to the left of the lighthouse, big building on the hill there. That's my house. That's not what's important. What's important is what's on the other side, right? On the big sand beaches. Horseshoe Bay, Horseshoe Bay, and how long you guys here for? Just today? Anyway, so you won't have a chance to do any of that. And then right around here, you got the city of Hamilton. This right over here is our city. Okay. What you'll notice with Hamilton, though, structurally, not a major city to what you're probably used to, right? No big skyscrapers or anything like that. Two reasons for that. One of them is because we're in a hurricane belt. Skyscrapers in a hurricane belt is not such a hot idea. And the other reason, the main reason, is the Anglican Cathedral. See the church sticking up just to the right of the smokestacks there? It's an old archaic British law. You cannot build over the top of the cathedral. It has to be the tallest point in Hamilton at all times. So it keeps it nice and preserved. But like I said, structurally not a major city. Financially though, one of the biggest cities in the world. You guys know the main industry here? Tourism. You don't even make up 20% of our economy anymore, but things we do tomorrow. Insurance. Insurance and reinsurance. We are the reinsurance capital of the world. You guys familiar with reinsurance? Reinsurance is an insurance company that insures an insurance company. Right? So if an insurance company has a big liability like an oil tanker or a cruise ship, they'll take out insurance on themselves. So if anything happens to the ship, instead of the one company taking the big hit, they'll spread it to 3 or 4 different companies. That way everybody still has a job for Monday. Give you an idea of how big it is. 2 years ago, there was $21 billion in the world made in reinsurance. 19 of the 21 was made here in Bermuda. That's why when you got off the ship, nobody was trying to sell you chickens. So that's Hamilton. Now this body of water that was just coming through right here, this is the Mangrove Bay. Mangrove Bay, definitely one of the prettier parts of the island. And this is generally where I tell people to look out for turtles, or start to look out for turtles. Well, we've actually seen a lot more on the other side, so we'll stop by and have a look for some turtles on the way back. What you're looking for, though, you're kind of looking for like a brown paper bag, floats to the surface, lifts his head up, takes a breath, and then it's gone. That's your turtle encounter. And it's quick, too, so if somebody says, hey, look, there's a turtle, don't bother. You'll see it. But these turtles here, the majority of the turtles that you're going to get here in Bermuda are going to be the green sea turtle. None of the turtles that you're going to see here in Bermuda are local turtles. They're all tourist turtles. They're all here from Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Mexico, places like that. The reason we don't have any local turtles is because we ate them. We ate them all trying to save them. If that makes any sense, right? We actually passed the first law of conservation in the New World here in Bermuda on the green sea turtle in the year 1620. And that's really early for conservation. But they get it ain't forever. What they said was you couldn't eat a turtle under 18 inches. Which sounds like a good idea, right? Save the small turtles, you grow up to be big turtles, you have more little turtles. But what they didn't realize, sexual maturity in a turtle takes about 35 to 40 years. Which is about 35 to 40 inches. So for the whole 35 to 40 years of adolescence, these turtles do this huge oceanic migration, and they don't return to the beach they came from until they're sexually mature. So what we ended up doing was saving little baby tourist turtles and eating our whole nesting population. And we wiped them out. So then we went down to Costa Rica and we were like, look man, we've been saving your turtles for all these years. You gotta hook us up with some eggs. And they did. They gave us 80,000 turtle eggs. We brought them here, put them on the beach down in St. George's, watched them hatch, made sure they made it to the water safely. Then it was coming up on 40 years and we got some pretty disturbing news. That is, the sex of the turtle is determined by the temperature of the sand. Yeah, our sand's a lot cooler than the sand in Costa Rica, so we got all males. 80,000 male turtles. Big baby turtles, right? And just that intel to injury, what they realized, the turtles don't actually go back to the beach they were hatched from. They go back to the beach they were laid in. So they all went back to Costa Rica anyway. So it didn't work out well for us at all. We get the tourist turtles, they come here in the summer and then they leave. Any questions? These islands that we're just coming up to now, this is known as Kings Point. Kings Point used to belong to one guy. His name was Teddy Tucker. Teddy Tucker was a world-renowned diver from German Portugal. He was actually responsible for finding 95% of the British shipwrecks. And we have over 250 long shipwrecks. This guy here, he had an amazing life. He passed away 11 years ago, but he was 88 years old. He was diving up to the week before he died. He was the first person to ever parasail. Pretty cool. What he used to do is tow a hot air balloon up behind his boat so to get up on a higher vantage point to see the straight lines and perfect circles of the shipwrecks. Also, too, he had such an amazing life. There was a writer and director that came down here, wrote a book and made a movie about it. Peter Benchley. It was The Deep. Jack Massetti, Nick Nolte. That movie was based on the wreck of the Constellation, which Teddy Tucker found here in 1947. You go back and watch the movie, he actually plays the dockmaster in the movie. It's a cool movie to go back and watch too, because all the outer water footage was shot here in Bermuda. So a lot of the stuff you see in that movie is still around to this day. But Teddy's biggest claim to fame, up until Mel Fisher found the wreck of the Tosha, Teddy Tucker had the highest treasure find in the world. Part of that find was the most expensive piece of jewelry ever found by a treasure hunter. That was the Emerald Cross, or the Tucker Cross. Right? Now, what happened with the cross originally was supposed to be part of the crown jewels. Then it was stolen from the British by the Spanish. Then the Spanish ship that was carrying the cross, the San Pedro, wrecked here in Bermuda in 1711. Teddy Tucker found the cross in 1955. He was pretty good at what he did. The whole thing about Bermuda, though, you don't have any salvage rights. By law, you have to sell what you find to the government, but the government doesn't have to pay you for it. So they took the cross from Teddy, they put it on display down at the aquarium for everybody to look at. The Queen wanted to come and check it out, so we pulled it out to polish it up for her. And as we pulled it out, we found it was a lot lighter than when we had put it in. Somebody swapped it.
Oh.
Come to find out, Teddy Tucker was an excellent model builder. So we're hoping the secret of the cross died with him, right? But if not, nobody knows what happened to the cross. Why so many shipwrecks? Well, we are the shipwreck capital of the Atlantic Ocean, right? So actually, if you look out here on the North Shore, or all those boats out there, the two right between them, you see a black and white tower way out on the horizon out there. That marks the outer reef. So you can actually go out to that about 5 miles and you can stand between these borders. Right? So that's our outer reef line, and it extends all the way out on the north shore. So if you look up here, there's another tower way out on the horizon. Same thing, right? That marks the outer reef line as well. So that reef line goes all the way around the island. It's about 180 square miles of the whole reef that go around the island. And the thing is, before electricity, right, or any lights on the island, people would think you're in the open ocean and you're just sailing along, and bang, hit the reef. And then we also enticed a lot of them too, right? We were pirates in our early years. Right? We were pirates, but then we became legal pirates because we actually had a couple methods of piracy that we used. That we weren't violent, right? But what we'd do is we'd set up bonfires up here on the west end to simulate a lighthouse. So ships passing by the island, they would think it was safe. They'd come in, right? And then they would wreck the reef. Yeah, so it was wrecking. And then what they'd do is they'd go out, they'd get all the people off and bring them ashore. But as they were bringing the people ashore, there'd be another rowboat that'd go around the back of the ship and take everything they were carrying, right? All their gold, all their silver, hide it in the cave system on the north shore. Now, the king got word of that. He didn't like it, right? British colony, bunch of pirates, didn't to him at all. So he wanted to hang everybody involved. The problem was is that it was 3,000 miles away, and we were doing this at night, right? So he couldn't catch anybody to hang. What he said was, if he can't beat them, we'll tax him. Yeah. And that's what he did. He legalized it, made it an extension of the Navy, called it gentleman privateering, and said that we could only attack ships that were at war with Britain. And two problems with this, everybody was at war with Britain. Now we did it at night, so we couldn't see what flags the ships were flying, right? So we took down a couple British ships as well, so it worked out to be pretty lucrative. That's the reason we had so many shipwrecks, because of that outer reef line. But that outer reef line is extremely beneficial to Bermuda. If we didn't have that outer reef line, Bermuda would have been destroyed. Right, we're in the middle of the ocean right now, but you're not getting an ocean swell. It's because that outer reef line breaking down 70% of the wave action before it actually comes in, right? If we didn't have that reef line, the hurricanes would have been blowing us away, because we're made out of limestone. Limestone is extremely soft, right? So basically what happens when the hurricanes come, the surge from the hurricane gets broken down by that outer reef. But then also too, the size of the island benefits us as well, right? Because what happens when the surge comes at us, because the island's so small, the water's going to find a path of least resistance, right? So it goes around us rather than coming up. So we don't get flooding, which is the number one killer in a hurricane. It's flooding. So we only have to deal with wind. It's not too bad for us. Any other questions? Yeah? So there's actually two different hotels. So the pink cottages that we went past back here, that's a 5-star hotel called Cambridge Beaches. You get a hotel room on the other side, starts at $800 a night. Or you get one of those standalone cottages that comes with your own pool, your own cook, and your own butler for $3,500. And then these places, this is the complete opposite end of the spectrum. That place is 5-star, this place is shut down. This place here never worked out. First opened up as the Danielson Eco Village. They're all put on stilts so that they don't damage that much of the vegetation. And they're tents. It's aluminum framing with canvas wrapped around the outside. You had no real amenities, you had a ceiling fan, and you had running water. No air conditioning in July and August. The guy that first set it up went bankrupt setting it up. He put $13 million worth of bungalows out here. Then he tried to make his money back real fast. He was charging $600 a night for the ones on the water, $500 a night for the ones on land. The hotel room prices to sleep in a tent. You need to see that. The bank took it back and came under new ownership 3 different times. They dropped the prices considerably, put air conditioners in most of the units, but they still couldn't get it to work. Bunch of problems with it. One is they opened it up at a really bad time. They opened it up in April of 2002, so right after September 11th. So nobody was really flying at the time, so it took a big hit there. But also too, they catered to the wrong crowd. They were looking for like the backpacking, tree hopping, Nibari. People you don't get flying into Bermuda, especially spending $600 a night to sleep in a tent. But then the biggest problem with it is actually right on top of the hill there, there's a dairy farm. So it smells very eco-friendly. As soon as you drive in, it's all you smell is cows. So people were driving in and driving right back out. So it completely shut down now. You can buy a bungalow for $3,000 to $5,000 a pop, but you can't keep it out here. You gotta take it and put it in your backyard. Use it as a car garage, a workshop, a she shed. Everybody good?
Yeah.
All right, sweet. So we are coming up to our glass bottom site right now. So what's gonna happen? Selena's gonna come grab the mic from me. She's gonna take you downstairs, show you the fish and the coral and the shipwreck.